Hi, in this presentation I'm going to talk about the regen feature of the 2014 Cadillac ELR. When I say regen feature, I'm talking about the regeneration of electricity. You can regen on demand. But before I do that, first I will talk about some of the major components of the ELR and what constitutes its unique system. First of all, I'll say that the automobile is a front-wheel drive automobile. The front wheels are driven by electric motors. The motors do not care where the electricity comes from. Electricity can come from a couple of different places. It can come from the power supply, which is approximately the same length as the passenger compartment and runs along the center board under the center line of the car, and it comes to a T under the back seat. And that's, by the way, that is what's being charged when the car is being plugged in. Or the electricity can come from the generator that it carries on board. The generator is a gasoline-powered engine, and because it's a generator, it runs at one set speed. It maintains approximately 1800 RPM, independent of the speed of the vehicle. If the car needs electricity, it needs electricity to be generated, and the generator will run to generate electricity. The computer inside the vehicle controls that. Okay, now as far as the regeneration on demand, I think this is the right slide that I wanted to show you. Yes, it looks like it is. Okay, on the right, to the right of the speedometer, you'll see a round oval that says kW, and it varies from it's measuring current flow in kilowatts, and it can vary from yellow to green. It goes from a negative number to a positive number. If it is green and negative, that's an indication that electricity is being regenerated into the system instead of being taken out of the system. I have the paddles. I'm pulling the paddles on the back of the steering wheel, and the paddles on the back of the steering wheel activate the regenerative braking, and I use that as a mode of modulating the speed of the car when I need to, rather than taking my foot off the brake and whatnot. Okay, now the location of the paddles are where you see my hand right there and right here. And the paddles are behind the steering wheel. So with your fingers and thumbs, I can squeeze the paddles, while simultaneously taking my foot releasing my foot off of the accelerator pedal. And it works very well. As a matter of fact, I've had at least 2 instances of where I've seen, because traffic was moving at a kind of a slow pace and up and down, not stop and go, totally stop and go, but it was fluctuating. The speed of traffic was fluctuating to some extent. And when I needed to modulate the speed of my car and not stop, then I would take my foot off of the accelerator and gently squeeze one of the paddles. And regenerative braking would in fact feed some electricity into the power supply or the battery. And I've seen a couple of times where my EV mode range was actually extended a couple of times. And that's going to depend on the conditions that you're driving under and the slope of the terrain. So there's a couple of different things that are going to affect that. And here's the latest update on my lifetime miles per gallon efficiency. Right now I'm at 84.4 lifetime miles per gallon. This particular driving session of 60.7 miles, I averaged 128 miles per gallon for this particular session of 60.7 total miles. 43 miles came from the power supply or the battery, and 17.7 miles came from electricity that was generated by the generator. Now, how did I get 43 miles out of the power supply or the battery when in fact the manufacturer says that the most you're going to get out of it is 40 miles? That's because I never pass up a charge. It doesn't matter if I have a time to charge my car fully or not. If I have 15 minutes, that's 15 minutes worth of electricity, or 30 minutes or 45 minutes or whatever. But at any rate, during this 60.7 total miles, at one point, I had an opportunity to stop at somebody's house, and I was able to run my cord into an outlet in their garage, or just outside of their garage, and I was able to get a quick charge for about, I think it was about an hour, hour and a half. And in addition to that, I used my regenerative braking significantly during these 60 miles. And there's no doubt in my mind that that contributed greatly to my ability to average. For this particular trip, I averaged 128 miles per gallon. 128 miles per gallon over 60.7 total miles. And my lifetime average is now 84.4 mpg. So in effect, changing my driving style, the functionality contained in the car has caused me to change my driving style. If I did not have the regenerative braking, regeneration on demand available, then I wouldn't be able to do it. So in that regard, I guess I have kind of changed my driving style. Hi, the CyberKnife is a tool that will allow us men to defeat prostate cancer without surgery. No pain, no surgery, and no damage to your male functionality. The CyberKnife cured my prostate cancer in 2007. And I encourage all men to fight like Spartans. Spartans have a saying, no surrender, no retreat. A Spartan never surrenders, a Spartan does not retreat. Now you notice the color of this ribbon is the crimson color of a Spartan. If you're familiar with the crimson color of a Spartan, you may have seen the movie 300. I would challenge everyone, man, woman, or child, doesn't matter, to wear the crimson color of a Spartan to show their awareness of the CyberKnife. Now, the CyberKnife can and does cure prostate cancer. It cured my cancer in 2007 without surgery. I had to go through 45 minutes of treatment for 5 days in a row on my way to work on a given day, on a given week. And it was absolutely painless, and it caused zero interruption between the relationship between my wife and I. So the CyberKnife, to sum it up in a nutshell, the CyberKnife is an absolutely glorious tool that can cure and defeat prostate cancer without pain, without surgery, without side effects. And if you go to cyberknife.com and use the search feature in their website, it will allow you to enter in your zip code, and based on your zip code, it will tell you the hospital that has a CyberKnife facility that is closest to you.